Hey guys, welcome back. Time to get excited. We're finally into the project. We're gonna do some wood shop today. I finally got all this organized. As you can see, I got that shelving done. This is all my tools that I have left, which is gonna go in the shop. So on this video, we are going to set up. I'm gonna show you how to set up a wall line right here with some chalk line, and we're gonna start with this wall right here, which is gonna have a door right here to get into the storage room. I'm going to show you a couple ways how to do it. Drilling and screwing it down, and then I'm going to show you how to do it with the gun where we shoot it in, which is how I did this basement, the majority of it. I usually drill and screw in around the door frames just because it's a little stronger. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Pretty much this is the whole basis of how I did this whole basement, and I'm going to show you how we do it as we go through the wood shop here. We're going to do some electrical, we'll do some lighting. So stick around, let's get this going. Let me set everything up. I got the tools right here if you can see them. The foam padding, it goes underneath the ground, underneath the 2x4s that we're going to put down. And then I have a chalk line set up, and I have some tab cons and my little knee pad. And I'll gather up the rest of the tools, I'll set everything up, and then I'll show you how we get this going. Alright guys, so first thing first, I got to get this square right here so I can tell which direction my wall is going to go on here. So what I did is I took my 4-foot level and I slid it back here against the concrete wall. And then I got my big carpenter square here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this here. I'm just going to draw a nice line right here. And this will give me a straight point perpendicular with this wall to run this wall. And then what we'll do is we'll just expand on this line. I'll pull this 4-foot level back out. What we'll do is we'll put it right along here. And what I want to do is I just want to get the line a little bit longer, like so, something like that, and that'll give me a nice straight line here to put my wall on, because I want to tuck it right up against this insulation right here. So what I'm going to do is I got this set up now. I got to do the same thing down at the other end. I got to line up a perpendicular line there, and then we'll measure out. And then we'll snap a string line down here. So let me get you back when I get the string line set up. So for those of you who aren't familiar with a chalk line, it looks like this. You fill this up with chalk. It's on a string, and then there's a hook on the other end. And you pull it across, and as you pull it across, it stretches out. What you do is you put it down on the ground, you pull it nice and tight, and then you flick it onto the ground, and it leaves this nice chalk line on the ground. And then that gives you a nice straight line to work with, and that's where we'll put our wall. So that's it, we got this chalk line down, so now we know where the wall is going to go, and we're going to move on. So let me just roll this up and I'll get right back to you. Alright guys, so what I did is I got the 1/4-inch bit here. I drill holes through the wood, just the wood. This is my base piece. This is pressure treated 2x4 to go on the concrete so that the water can't affect it. So I did a hole here and I did a hole at that end. You're going to want to keep this off the side wall about a 1/4 inch for expansion and stuff. You don't want it right up against the concrete. So I drilled these holes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use these tap cons, which drill into concrete, or actually screw into concrete. But first I got to drill a pilot hole through this wood right where my line is right here. You see my blue chalk line that I put down. So these boards are right on that line. So I'm going to drill these 2 holes down for both these ends, because there's going to be a door right here, so I want the support of these tap cons in the concrete. That's why I'm using those. So I'll do those 2, and then I'll show you how we put how we shoot in an anchor in the middle here and how that works. Okay, so let me just drill these 2 holes and then I'll come back with you. Alright guys, so I got these drilled out. You can see the holes right there. What I like to do is I like to take this 1/4 inch foam sealant they use for joist to foundations on house. This also gives it another water barrier underneath here, so if you ever get any water in the basement, it still gives you the second protection here. What you do is just place this underneath here. Line that up. Screw this down. here. And we'll just screw it in. There you go. That's one. This one. There you go. That's all it takes. So I got one screw there and one screw over here. I got this foam gasket underneath here. You can like staple this up if you have to. Usually I'll just trim it off because all you need is underneath there. So what I'll do is I'll probably set one in here with the hammer set, and then we should be good on this board. And then my door is going to be right here. I'll have a 36-inch door, so we'll frame that up after I get the other piece in. So I'm just going to do the same with the other piece here, which is almost 8 foot. And then I'll come back and I'll show you how we hammer set these. I mean, you could do them all like this, screw them all in. It's not an issue. You just have to pre-drill all these holes before you put the board down, and then you just have to line it up. So that's where we're at now. Let me do this board, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how we shoot these in. All right. So now that we got our 2 base plates in, that's what these are called, the pressure-treated base plates. You can see they're both down here, and then this is going to be our opening for the door. Now we got to go up top. As you can see here where my shelving is, I have this cross piece right here. That's a 17.5-inch piece to support this. So I got to do a couple more of those along here to support our top piece for the wall. So I'm going to cut a couple 17.5s, and then we'll just screw them into this joist. Usually I like to recess them in here, but I have a ductwork that I can't get around, so we're going to have to put them underneath. I mean, obviously I'd move the ductwork or kind of make it work if I was doing this in a normal house. But being that it's just in my basement workshop, I'll deal with it being a little bit lower here. So we got to cut those, and then I'll screw those in, and then I'll come back and show you how we figure out the top plate and where it lines up. Alright guys, so I got those pieces up, little cross pieces. They're 17.5. Okay, so I got 4 of them up there. I got our sill plate down, and it's our doorway right there. So that's all open. Now, for a 36-inch door, that's a 37 3/4 space right there. So when you're doing a doorway, you're going to actually make the doorway 1 3/4 inches bigger than whatever the actual door is. And that's a standard number. So 1 3/4 inches spread for a doorway when you're framing on the floor. Okay, it's pretty simple. And then the studs that come up, I'll show you a little later. They'll sit on top of these plates and come up. Those are 81 inches, and that's a standard size as well. So if you keep that in mind, you're going to go 1 3/4 inches bigger on the opening, and then 81-inch pieces up. Those are standard size for doing a door, you know, a normal interior door frame. So I got the sill plates all set up. I'm going to show you, let me set this camera down. We're going to work right up here in the ceiling. See if I can get it. So what I do, this is how I do it. This piece was cut to go all the way to the ductwork from the corner. So what I like to do is I have a stud up there, and what I use is I use the 2 studs up here to pin this piece up. And I'll show you how we do it. I'm going to set this right up here so it'll look nice. And then what I do is I bring this stud over, just like so. And slide this over. The idea was to stick this piece in here to hold this up. And then I get the corner piece all leveled out. And then I'm going to introduce you to the nail gun. That's our next move. It's almost level. So you just got to keep playing with it till you get it right, as you see here. You just keep tapping it with the hammer, top and bottom, front to back, till it gets perfectly level. You're going to want that to be dead on, because that's what's going to keep all your pieces in line. If you were doing drywall here, these would be spaced out perfectly. So on the bottom here, you won't be able to see it, but I have it marked down. There's marks on the studs here for where all the studs are going. I'm doing these at 2 foot on center because I'm not using drywall. I think I'm gonna use pegboard to do this. So I ended up up doing 2 foot on center because it'll work for 48-inch pegboard. So I'm going to nail that one in. I got the nail gun all hooked up. See how this goes. So pretty much you're just going to, I like to put my foot right here to hold it, but you're just going to shoot this right in here. Just like that. Try to get a second one in here. Then I'm going to get one up top. That's how it is. Now what it is, I don't know if you can see it in the picture, but this little thing right here, the teeth, once you push that onto something, that unlocks the safety. And then once you do that, you just pull the trigger. And that's how that works, okay? So let me finish nailing these up. Alright, so just to give you a look, there's the stud. I just shot 2 nails up into there to hold it up to that piece. This one I'm just about to shoot, but that's all leveled both ways, this way and this way. So everything's all perfect. So that's all you do is just nail these up. We're going to put one of these in every 24 and then we're good to go. Alright guys, so I told you I'd give you a quick demo. This is what the ram sight gun looks like. Okay. Pretty much what it is there's a nail that goes in the end of it. And it has this little bushing here, fits right in there so it fits nice and snug. Got a washer on it already. What you actually do is it's actually like a 22 cartridge. With gunpowder, and you put it right in here, and then when you close the gun it charges it. So you want to make sure you have eye protection, ear protection. Alright, all you do, you hold down right here in the center of the base piece, and you get your weight on top of it, and then you pull the trigger. And what it does is it drives that nail right into the wood and into the concrete, and then you end up with just a shell left over. So it's a real easy way. It's a little louder, but it's way easier than drilling a whole bunch of holes into the concrete and then screwing all that down. Like I said, I like to use it on the ends just to get the piece all lined up, and then I ram set the rest of them in the middle. You know, I do them out every 3 or 4 feet. So this one's all done. That's all good to go. It's all screwed down and ram set down, and I got to cut some more studs here to do the uprights, and we'll keep on going. Alright guys, so it took me about a half an hour or so. But this is where you end up. Alright. You can see it, there's the doorway. Put some support pieces up there. Now if you notice, everything is 2 feet, at least along the top there. The doorway is obviously a little different. Like I said, it just comes down to whatever measurement. If you were doing a 32-inch door, then you would need to add an inch and a quarter onto that, so it would be 33 3/4, the opening. So once you have that all figured out, like I said, you need your 4 foot level. Because you're literally, every time you go up here, you're going to go this way, and you're going to go this way, and you're going to hook it up. This will stay level this way by putting this piece up, for instance, and that piece up. So once those are level, that's why I put a piece over here and a piece over there, and leveled those 2 pieces this way, and that levels off the wall itself, and then the other 2 pieces should fall in, should fall into place. So with the door, this is what happens. You end up with 2 studs, and they're sandwiched together with nails. Okay, that makes the support for the door so it's nice and sturdy. And then obviously these cross pieces here, that's what I nail in this top piece into. So that's why those are up there. So now we have a full wall all the way up to the top. So then I just have to finish this little section over here. I got to make a piece to go across over there, put a couple more pieces up, and then we'll continue around. But that's the start of it right there. Like I said, the nail gun makes it easier. You could definitely do it with screws though if you don't have access to a nail gun or you don't want to try to get a nail gun. Like I said, you could just screw in like right here instead of nailing. Screw in just like these nails are. Tap them in right there. So it really doesn't make that much of a difference. And if you're screwing through here instead of nailing, you can just screw these together. Just gotta make sure you get the right thickness. The main note is it's 1.5 inches thick. That's what 2x4s are. So whenever you're making the measurements, from here down to here, you're gonna measure. You can measure inside. If this wasn't here and you were measuring from there down, but you had to account for that, then you would just take 1.5 inches off of whatever that measurement is. But that's how it works out. Okay, there's a little math involved, but with either a nail gun or a screw gun and some 2x4s, you can make this. and now your wall is complete. You know what I mean? It's not going anywhere. It's all nailed down to the ground. You got nice waterproof at the ground so that you don't have to worry about that. And you know, the only other tricky thing is when you start, because right here is where the stud's going to go this way, so there'll be another stud here. So you got to make sure that edge is your starting edge, and then you're going to be 24 inches from there for each stud. So when you put the drywall up, you have this edge right here to drywall, you know, to screw the drywall. I mean, usually you would do 16 on centers. There would be 3 pieces between each one, but 24 will do the same thing. It's just I didn't need it to be that sturdy like you would in a normal house, because I'm probably just going to do you know, some paneling or some pegboard on here, so it's pretty simple. So that's the gist of it for now. We're going to continue on. Like I said, we got to do all the way around these walls. I want to get them all framed in so we can get some excuse me, get some pegboard on them. So pretty much this wall, I'm going to do a wall across in front of the furnace and the hot water tank. Then we're going to put another door right there, and then I just have to redo this section right here. So a couple little walls we have left. That was mainly the big one. And then once we get those up, then I think I calculated about 14 sheets of pegboard or paneling. You know, 8 foot by 4 foot sheets. So this whole thing will be pegboard. I think it'll be kind of cool, I think, to have pegboard all the way around. Just hang whatever I want from it. So if you like it, subscribe. Check out the website. I got links on there. I'll link some stuff on here. A nail gun if you want to get a nail gun or something like that. I think that one I got at Harbor Freight, which actually has done me very well. I think it was like $100 for a nail gun if you're interested. That's a full framing nailer. There's all different sizes. But if you want interested in that, then I'll leave the link in there for a nailer. Home Depot usually has kits where they can sell you, it's like 2 nailers and stuff like that. But I'll leave that link in the description. Definitely subscribe, definitely watch the video, stay tuned. This video is going to continue on. We're going to do the whole woodshop from start to finish. That's why I'm showing you this. We're going to put up the paneling, we're going to do electrical before we do that. I'm going to get some shop lights to put up in here, so we got some better lighting. I apologize for the lighting today because there's only really one. This light's kind of blocked by the new shelving, so I don't really have one light above me. So I'll try to get that. That'll be coming up soon though. We'll get that light going.